Hello everyone, welcome back. Another reminder. Things have changed so much. Well, every time when I come forward, do these videos, another chunk of work has been done, and things have changed. They always change, and because of this, the reminder today, it's so important. So judgment. We create reality by defining things, and we use these concepts to experience life. And judgment in itself is not a bad thing. It's there to assess a situation, is there to make sense of things, except it's like to create a certain direction, but at the same, to explore a certain concept. But when that actually has run its course and no longer serves that purpose, it becomes a limitation, it becomes a hindrance, an obstacle for the mind, for the body. And that's the problem with what's happening right now. But like I said, this is caused because, why things are the way they are is, well, the energy level has been, well, it's continually growing, but it's been lower, and now it's only now it's actually getting higher and higher, and will change everything. So things have been blocked, one, because there was not enough energy for people to realize these things. And like I said, judgment in itself, if you're not aware of what it does, what it can do, what it's meant to do, can create more problems than actually do what it's meant to do. Like I said, assess certain situation, make sense of things, create a certain direction in exploring a certain concept, a way of life. So the judgments, the definitions that we have created or have been created, have been told, things that we were told that these are true, this is true, yes, have served their purpose, but also have run their course, and we reach now a level where these things, most things, society structure, even the way we do, I don't know, family or school or whatever, everything has hit this ceiling, like where okay, we cannot go on further if we don't change something. And this is, like I said, this is accepting a status quo. And it's just is like because of this creates a lot of actually illness in people, in the body, in the mind, in the soul. So the problems that we have are not just on the outside, like what we see. Oh, I don't like how things are, war, famine, this and that, the situation and whatever and whatnot. It's because they are connected, and as long as we don't internalize this and understand that and embody that as a transformation journey that we take on, you don't understand, and you do not have real power to actually change what's around you, because all that's around you is like the control panel is inside. So moving forward is about releasing these perspectives, these old angles of how we see things, how we do life, how we actually been done life, and what we understood as like correct, true, good, bad, and you have to understand that actually by just repeating this like non-beneficial patterns, like I said, it creates illness, but also it's like holds the body and the mind in a certain energetic state, which make most people think that, oh, nothing changes, this is the reality, this is what it is, it's nothing more than just that. Although science and other fields, where some people, some minds are pushing certain whatever, poke holes into this limited thing to show, no, there's a bit more than here and there and whatever. But let's say most people actually accept what it is, don't question, they're frustrated, they don't like what they see, but they keep going, do life like this. Oh, that's life, I'm supposed to, I don't know, grow old, like go to school, then at some point, I don't know, go to uni or whatever, get a job, get married, and at some point I will grow old and die, and that's it. So that's the course that's been set. That's what's been known, that's what's been true. And I guess it's going to be true still a long time from now on for a lot of people, because regardless of the energy that it's here, the most minds are still trapped in old definitions, in old perspectives, in old angles, which, like I said, it's not just like it affects how you think, but it affects your physicality, the state of your health. And then again, like I said, in turn, your state of health will reflect on how your mind perceives things, the awareness, how wide that space inside yourself is, and what you actually have access to, or, like I said, be able to reach more light, download more higher thoughts inside your being. So most people don't question the status quo. They are frustrated. They look at things helpless because we are taught to actually put all our power on the outside, because this reality is reflect. I mean, most people, although hear that, okay, thought creates reality, but don't really have the reality inside themselves that actually experiences that particular truth. So until then, you're a spectator. You intellectually you understand that, but then again, you don't have that reality inside you where actually you can change that. So this happens because, like I said, most people accept certain definitions, certain judgments, certain things, a certain truth, what's been truth. And now is the time to dismantle those truths, what has been true about life, about how we do life, about everything, basically. And that takes work, because it takes a lot of work, and like I said, which most people are just not ready, but also feel like it's pointless, because like I said, when you start to do the right things, like moving into the right direction, you undertake this work and go on this path, you will encounter a lot of opposition, and of course you're going to feel discouraged, and you'll stop eventually. Most people stop and go back to their life, even if they're frustrated. They try to find a way. It's like, right, I'm just gonna go on, and eventually I will exit, and I don't know, I'll find, hopefully, this in the afterlife, an answer for everything what's here. The truth is that all of this can be we can move beyond this. But like I said, this is the biggest work for this. The key here is to outgrow everything that's been said, that's been defined as true. And there's not just the structures that we experience of life, but there's like all the judgment, all the things that come inside your bubble of what you are, this interaction, this non-stop interaction, this like verbal or non-verbal communication that enters your energy system, and there's all these exchanges, and you're not aware of all of that. But then again, at some point you start to feel, I mean, if you have enough energy to feel like, when I'm around somebody, I feel pleasant or unpleasant because that person thinks certain things about me, and that makes me feel in a certain way, either positive or, like, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm less, or you feel and you see yourself undervalued. Somebody's like is basically stealing your confidence because whatever you are, your gifts or whatever you do might threaten their own sense of identity and confidence and whatever. So there is this cannibalism that still is going on in this reality, and like I said, it's very discouraging for someone that starts to do the work. But once you manage to go through this big forest, this Amazon of judgments and the non-beneficial judgments that are entering and exiting and entering our energy system, once you master that, once you actually, those things don't affect you, those things don't create illness and limitation inside yourself, that's the moment when you can move beyond things. And this is a thing what I call outgrowing. So this moving forward is about outgrowing patterns, outgrowing judgments, outgrowing things. And this happens, like I said, when you confront this. That's why I insist on the cleaning process, because it's the only thing that really gets to the bottom of things and gets you through this thing, moves you forward. So moving forward is about challenging the status quo. It's about outgrowing these patterns, these judgments. But this can be done only if you actually become present. It's like you are present with what's inside you. You actually become aware of what's inside you and confront all those things that hurt you, that it's uncomfortable, that it creates fear, pain, whatever. And when you release those judgments, whatever was caused to make you feel that way, and it's a process, you start to gain more power, a little more space, and then the source and light start to come in more. And then, like I said, this expands your space inside yourself, the awareness, your power, and then you start to experience something magical, and your mind is doing magical things. So self-mastery, because people talk about self-mastery down here, they think about something like completely abstract and something unattainable. In a way, you can see that it is, because of the work that it demands to actually get to that. As in, like I said, to go outgrow this limitation. So self-mastery in this sense is outgrowing these judgments, these old definitions, these things that affect the mind, that condition the mind to act in a certain way, to do things in a certain way. So when those things lose hold on you, your mind is free just to go outside of it and start to look at all the angles of that thing. It's like, oh, so that's like, no, it wasn't like how I thought. So until you don't reach that point, you don't really understand life. You might have an opinion about something, you might emit a judgment, like I said, about something, and this might not be the full truth behind that. And moving beyond this level means that you have to, like I said, be able to outgrow all this pattern, to move beyond the whole that certain definitions, the word, you have to outgrow certain words, certain definitions, certain structures. So and the mind can move out of those boxes and understand all these patterns that are available here, that have been for so long, and understand them, what they really are, how they really work, their purpose, and then only then you really can move beyond it. And this will affect not just the mind, but will affect your biology, your health. And this will basically unfold these processes inside yourself, as in like to upgrade your biology, to do things that until then were considered impossible and unattainable, or they would think, oh, only with some, I don't know, artificial things outside of ourselves, things, external things, we could achieve, I don't know, let's say a longer lifespan, or doing certain, I don't know, what considered like, wow, that's magical, or paranormal things. So that's what you should look, like when you think about moving forward, you should think about, I have to gain power. I have to regain this power inside myself by challenging those definitions inside myself, those things that told me that I'm helpless. Why am I helpless? What has caused that situation? What has been repeatedly done for me? And even if I was aware of that, but I couldn't change that because I felt so helpless that I could not do anything. And once you actually on this path, and is you constantly just look at it, even if in the beginning you don't feel like you're doing much progress, just by actually confronting that, looking into its eyes. It's just like, I see you. I don't like how I feel. And I don't know how to overcome you. But I'm not running away anymore. And I'm just going to be here. And then you'll see, like I said, this is a magical process. And the more you do that, it starts to dissolve inside yourself. Yes, tapping helps, but I explained to you, it has to be done in a way that is beyond what I told you at some point a few years ago. It's not enough to just do that. That's only like the starting point. Because the deeper you go, you will encounter other levels, and how you do that, it's beyond that, because the mind will expand. So like the further you go, it's becoming more magical, and like it goes outside of this reality. So it's like, oh, that's magic, because that's what it is. So that is magic, but also this, what's here, what's limited here, that's also magic. Yeah, so that's what it's about. Like that's what you're supposed to actually do in order to move forward, to experience freedom and love. I hope this was interesting. See you next time. Ciao. At the moment of the fall, most of the grid around the earth lost energy, so even for